In this video, we are going to see how to create a data entry form in Excel, where we have a drop-down list, some checkboxes, and also here a dynamic button that whenever you click over here, all those new informations that you fill in the form are going to be automatically input into your template. So let's take a look if it's worked. Right now, I have here only 2 rows with data. Let me go back to the form itself, and I want to input a new one. As the item, I can use JP, and as a brand, I can use 123, 321. As the quantity, I can use 10. Unit cost 4.90, and the total cost is automatically calculated for me because we are using here a formula. The date, I can use January 10th of 2025. And as the payment method, I can use, let's say, credit card. And as the shelf location, I want to use A2. Yeah, that's it. Now let me click here and submit and see if it's gonna work. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, maybe it's working, maybe it's not. I don't know because it's too fast. As we can see, all those cells that we did fill in with data are now blank. And if we go to the template itself, here is my data in the first row. And the old informations are just in the rows underneath. So this is how the forms in Excel is going to work. And this data entry form in Excel can also help you into a presentation, into a report, a dashboard that you need to do with Excel, because it's both easy to do and easy to use. So I hope this video can help you out, and let's find it out. How can we do it in Excel? Let's go. The first thing that we can start with is creating the template of the data entry form. And I want to start here with the header. So my header is going to be inventory management. But let's say you don't want to create a inventory management, or you want to do something different to a different purpose. You can do so because it's gonna work. And now it's important to input here the informations that you need to use. I want to go first with the item name, that is very important, and also the brand name. Another thing that I want to have is the quantity purchased, the unit cost, the total cost. And let's say the total cost can be a simple calculation that is equal to the quantity times the unit cost. So because we did create this multiplication, we could automate this last cell right here, the total cost. Now in the cell underneath, I want to just skip one row, and then I can have the date that I'm purchasing this item, and also maybe the payment method, such as cash, debit card, or credit card, or on and on. Let me skip here, 1, 2, and in the third column, I want to use to input another information that is the shelf location. Now, all informations that I want to use are already here in this data entry form. I can create my own customized design and layout for this form. So let's start here, clicking in the column B, over the column B to select the entire column. And it's very important to press and hold down the Control key and go to the column E and also to the column H. Okay, with all those 3 columns selected, I can, in between one column to another, click, hold, and drag to the left. Because that way I can decrease the width of those columns. Now I can go here to the header, select the header itself, the cell underneath, click, hold, and drag to the right. Maybe I can merge all those cells together, vertically align the header, put everything in bold, increase the font size maybe to 20, change the font color to white, and the background to a bluish one. I want to do something similar to all the subtitles that I have, but before we do it, let me select everything, the entire area that I have, and go to borders. I want to use here a tick outside borders. I want to do the same thing only for the header. Okay, and let me also click here in the column D, press and hold the Control down, the Control key down, and also select the column G. Now, in between one column and another, click, hold, and drag to the right, because this time we are increasing the width of those columns like this. Yeah. Now, again, using the Control key to select multiple cells at once, let me select all the subtitles that I have and put everything in bold with a white font and with a bluish background. I also want to align everything to the right, like this. And let me put borders, all borders. Okay. Now it's time to select the cells to the right that corresponding to the values that we need to input in those cells, and put borders, and also change the color now to a yellowish one, like this. Yeah. Now I think it's much better. The last thing that I want to do here is create a button, a submit button, because whenever I click here in this button, all the informations that we have within the forms are going to be copy and paste into our template, into our spreadsheet, right? So let me go to create the button to the insert tab and then shapes. Maybe I can use here a rectangle like this. Click, hold, and drag to make sure you can create the perfect size to your button. And maybe I can go to shape formats, click here in shape styles, and choose the one that I like the most. I want to choose this one right here. Okay, 1, 2, clicks within the button, and I want to give it a name such as submit. Submit, okay. Let me select everything here. Let me align horizontally and vertically. Increase the size to maybe 20, put everything in bold, and maybe also use here a italic. Okay, yeah, that's it. Now, this is the form that I want to use. Another thing that we can do is within here, the view tab, I can get rid of the grid lines because that way we have a much more clean look to our forms in Excel. So let's start now fill in here with all the information that we need. In the shelf location, I don't want to manually input the shelf location, but I want to create here some checkboxes. And whenever I mark one of those checkboxes with the location that I need, I want to have this result that I just checked here within my template, but we're going to create it in a moment. But now let's go to the item name. Let's say this item name has a name such as product A123. And the brand name can be B-1 or O1. Okay. The quantity, maybe 15. The unit cost, let's say $4.90. Enter. So we already have here the total cost. But something that I want to change is, as we can clearly see, the cost is a currency, right? So we need to transform the value into the currency that we need to use. So let me select both of those cells and go to the home tab and put everything into a $sign. Okay, now we have dollar. The date, maybe I can use January 1st of 2025. Enter. And the payment method, as I said before, I want to create here a drop-down list because I think it's much easier to select the options that we have. So let me click here and go to data. To the right, I can click on data validation. And with this word that we have, instead of using allow any value, I can go instead to list. And as the source, I can input the options that I want to have in the list, such as cash, comma, to go to the second option, and debit card, comma, credit card, and on and on. I want to only keep with those 3 different informations, but if you want to add more informations, you can use comma, the 4th one, comma, the 5th one, and on and on. Let me click OK, and yeah, that's it. Now instead of manually need to input the data that I need, I just click here and select throughout the list, much easier. Now the shelf location, I want to do something different, as I said. So let me go here to the developer tab. And if you don't have yet the developer tab enabled into your Excel, you can go to the home tab, and within any blank spot, you can right click and go to customize the ribbon. Instead of using popular commands, you can go to main tabs, and here you're gonna find developer. Just click add, and then click OK. Simple as that. Now you have the developer tab. Within the developer tab, there's many different tools. The one that I want to use is within controls, insert, and then this little dot right here, option button. Click. Okay. Now I want to size the area of this button just right here. It doesn't need to be perfect because if you, let's say, made a mistake in the size, you can click in these little circles and resize again. Just click, hold, and drag. Simple as that. Right click here and go to edit text. The first one is going to be the first location option, A-1, for example. Okay, let me click out. And I don't want to create it all over again for all the cells because it's going to take a long time. So what I can do is I can select the cell underneath. But let's say it's very difficult to select the cell underneath because I can't select the cell underneath. If I try to click in the cell underneath, I'm just check the option. So what I can do is with the arrow keys in my keyboard, I can go up, 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 and yeah, that's it. Now I can click just here at the bottom right corner of the cell, click, hold, and drag down to make sure I can call this option down. And yeah, now that's it. I have many different options. The thing that I need to do now is just change the name. Right click, edit text. This one is going to be A2. The third one is going to be B. B-1. The fourth one is going to be B-2. And the last one is going to be C-1. Yeah, that's it. Now I have all the different options. So the form is actually done. The thing that we need to do now is automate the form to, whenever I click here in the submit button, take all those informations and input in the template that we're gonna have in the spreadsheet. However, I don't have the spreadsheet yet, so it's time to create the template that we need to use, okay? So let me go here to the sheet 1, right click, rename. I'm gonna call it form, enter. Now I want to add a new sheet. In this one, I want to right click here, rename inventory management, okay? Within this spreadsheet right now, I want to input all the options that we have in the form to be automatically input in the template. So we're gonna have the date or the purchase date, the item name, the brand name. We also gonna have here the shelf location, the quantity, the unit cost, the total cost, and the payment method. So I'm done. Now that everything is already here, let me select all those items and go to the Home tab, put everything in bold, change the background color to a bluish one, use as the font color a white one, align everyone in the middle and in the center of the cell. Select all those columns that I have, click, hold, and drag to the right to make sure I can increase the width of those columns. Yeah, that's it. So this is the template that I need to create. But let's say if we try to manually input the data, it can take a long time, or it can be, just normal. I need to input here the date, I need to give the item the name that I need, and the brand name, the shelf location, and on, but we can do it throughout the form. And this is now the step that we need to, let's say, try to figure out a way to take all the information that we have in the form and automatically input here in the template. The way that we can do it is, as we can see, we have all those headers and we need to follow perfectly the same displayment that we have here. So date is the first information. The second one is the item name. The third one is the brand name. The fourth one is the shelf location, and on and on. So what I maybe can do here is, let me select all those items that I have here, the entire header, and right click, go back here to the form, maybe in a cell to the right, maybe right here, right click, and then I want to paste values only, because I don't want to change the format, okay? Just paste here the values. So the first information that I need is the date. So what I can do is, in the cell underneath, equals sign, and then I can click in the cell into the form where I have the value that corresponding to the date. And then I can hit enter. Now the item name equal sign is equal to the item name. Enter. The brand name equal sign is the brand name. The shelf location equal sign. Oh, here maybe we have a problem, because as we can see, the shelf location is not a text itself. The information that we have here is not within the cell, but it's actually outside the cell. It's something apart the cell, because it's just a box that is not within the cell. So how can we transform the options that we selected here and input into the cell? What we can do is, we can use maybe the if function, we can use the index function, but I'm going to show you here how can we do it properly. So let me get rid of this equal sign right here, and then let me go back here. Let me click with the right click within the first option that I have and go to format control. I want to, here in the cell link, click in this up arrow and go to the cell above the shelf location right here. And then I want to click in this down arrow and then OK. Now, whenever I choose the first option, we can see the result is equal to 1. If I select the second one, the second option, I'm going to have the result is equal to 2. And if I select the third one, the result is 3, and on and on. So this is how it's going to work. Now that we already set the options with the result, we can use maybe here a if function to help us. If the result is equal to 1, so retrieve a 1 as result. If the value is equal to 2, so retrieve a 2 as result. If the value is equal to 3, so retrieve B1, and on and on. But I think to do it, it's going to take a long time to set all those criteria within the if function. Because if we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different options, we're going to need to set all those 5 options within the if function. So it's going to take a long time. A faster way to do it is, Let me go here to any cell underneath, and then I want to input again all the shelf locations that I have. A2, B-1, B-2, C-1. Okay. Now I want to use the index function to retrieve. If I have the number 1, the first row. If I have the number 2, the second row, and on, using this range that I have. So let me go here to the shelf location, and then equal sign, index function, 1, 2. The array is going to be this one, comma, and the row number to retrieve as result is going to be dynamically by using the number that I have above. Close parentheses and then enter. Okay, A1. Let's say now I select here B1. Let's see what's going to happen with the result. B1, okay, so the result is also equal to B1. If I select B2, the result is also going to be B2, and on and on. So this is how it's going to work. Now we can move on to the quantity. Equal sign, the quantity is going to be equal to this value. Enter the unit cost, equal sign, unit cost. Total cost, equal sign, total cost. And the payment method, the last information is right here. Okay, enter. Now we already set all the things that we need to create this automation. Now it's time to go to the record a macro in Excel to automate and take the values that we have right here, the informations, copy and paste right here in the template. Let's go to the developer tab and record a macro. You can either use a customized name right here, such as form, or you can leave it like the one that you had before. It doesn't need to change. Let me click here, OK. Now, all the things that you do in the Excel, all the tools that you use are going to be saved within the macro. And if you need to perform those actions over again, you can do so. So this is how we can automate tasks in Excel with the macros. Now let's say the first thing that I want to do here is select all the informations that I have in this row, and then I want to copy. So right click, copy. In a row underneath, maybe in this one, right click, and then I want to paste values. Why I need to paste values instead of just taking the informations that I have above and directly paste them into the template? Because we have in the cells above a formula, equal sign, another thing, right? So we are using the equal sign. So this is a formula. We can't copy a formula and paste in somewhere else, because if you do it, the formula, the references that we have within the formula are going to change. So we need to be careful about this situation. Okay, now that we did that, let me make sure I have the properly format for all the cells. Let's take as example the first one, the date. As we can see, I have a different format for this date, so I can change it before I copy and paste this row into the template itself. Let me go to the Home tab, General, and use Short Date. Okay. Another thing is the unit cost and the total cost. I can select both and put everything with the $sign. Okay, that's it. Now I think it's okay. I already done all the changes that I need. Now let me select everything here again, and then right click, Chop, go to the inventory management template. Make sure you click in this first cell right here. Okay, so make sure you click in this first cell like this. Now go to the Home tab, and then here to the right, you can go to Insert Copied Cells. It's very important to choose that option because you're gonna have this little board right here. And with this board right here, you can go to Shift Cells Down. And why this is important? Because whenever you're trying to input new data right here, all the data that you already have into this template, let's say you already have 8,000 different rows with informations. All those 8,000 rows that you already have are going to be moved down, and this one new information that you are input is going to be placed in the first row that you have. So this is why it's very important to do exactly those same steps. And then click OK. Yeah, that's it. Let me click again here in the first cell and go back to the form. Let's say now that you click here in Submit, you want to take all the information that you have, go and paste them into the template. And then you want to have all those cells where you need to type in the information blanket, because that way you can fill in with new information all over again. So I think it's important to get rid of the old information. So let's do it. Let me select all the values. Be mindful to do not get rid of the total cost because it's a formula, right? So get rid of here, and also the date and the payment, and yeah, that's it. And I want to click here now in the item cell. That's it. I can stop the macro right now. Developer, stopping recording. We're done. Now we can assign this macro into the button, because if we click right now into the button, anything is going to happen here. But before we do it, let me select all those columns right here, J, K, L, M, N, and let me press Ctrl Shift to the right to select literally all the columns to the right, and then right click, I can go to hide. I think it's a good idea to hide those columns, because that way, let's say you are using this form into your dashboard, into your presentation, a reporting that you are doing, nobody's going to see the formulas and the calculations that you had to the right. Now let's go back here to the button. Right click, go to assign a macro, and you can choose the macro that we did together before, form, and then OK. Now, whenever you click in the button, all the new informations that you input here in the inventory management are going to be automatically displayed here in the first row. And all the informations that you already have within this template are going to be moved one row down like this. But let's make sure that it's working. So the new item that I can input here, maybe it can be just new item, this name right here. The brand can be BO2. The quantity, let's use 90. The unit cost 9.99. Enter. The date, January 2nd. The payment method, I can use cash. And the shelf location this time is going to be A1. Okay, that's it. Let me click here, submit, and see if it's going to work. 1, 2, 3, yeah. Okay, I don't know if it's working because it's too fast. But as we can see right here, the cells are blank. So maybe it's working. Let's go to the inventory template. And yeah, the new item that I inputted in the form is already here, and it's working. The old information is in the row underneath. The new one is in the first row. And that's it. So this is how we can create a simple form in Excel to help us on a daily basis to make a data entry in Excel. And do not forget, it's very important to know how to properly save a macro in Excel, because if you just save your spreadsheet like it is, you are going to lose your macro, your automation. So click here on File and then go to Save As. Now we can go to Browse, and you can save your Excel file anywhere you like. However, the thing that is very important is Save As Type. Excel macro enabled workbook, okay, the second option right here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions or any suggestions to the next videos, let me know, comment down below, and I see you tomorrow. As every day has a new video, I see you there.